This is an unboxing and review of the Studio 411 strip softbox that I just got from Amazon.com. As you can see, I paid about $71 for this softbox, and it shipped pretty fast. And this is the 14-inch by 63-inch version of the softbox. So let's go ahead and start with the unboxing. Let's see what's inside here. Like it comes in like a carrying bag. Looks like we dropped something there. Hold on a second. So what I just dropped was just the part number. It came in this little plastic bag. There you can see for your reference. It's the 14 by 63 inch softbox for the Einstein or Alien Bees. Alright, so let's see what else comes inside. Comes in this kind of like plastic bag. Can be handy for when traveling, with a zipper right here. The zipper just opens on this side, so you have to take everything out from here. Alright, so first thing that we get here is the rods. Should be steel rods. Then we get the speed ring that should fit your Alien Bees. Let's see what else. And it looks like we get the softbox itself along with the grid. Oh, instructions. And that's about it. Let's check out the paperwork first. Looks like some instructions on how to assemble the softbox. I don't think it's going to be very complicated. Let's take a look at the... it looks like this is the grid. Yep, this is the grid. It should come in, according to the Amazon posting, it should be 2-inch by 2-inch for each grid. Let's see what else we got here. This should be the transparent or the white cloth or material that goes inside the softbox to reflect the light. I guess the reflective material. And there's two of them. There should be one for inside of the softbox. And here are the infamous clips. A lot of people don't like these clips. A lot of people say that they're kind of hard to put on the softbox. I don't really mind them. I think they're okay. It just takes a little bit. It takes just a few seconds to put them. And the reflective material. Sorry, the transparent material for inside the softbox. So that's the inside one, and this one should be the one for, or the second level of diffusion of the light. And this one has on the sides some Velcro, of course, to attach to the sides of the softbox, or the outer sides of the softbox. Alright, and finally we got the outside of the softbox. Okay, looks pretty good. It's got a brand name right here. According to the Amazon posting, the company name was Studio 411. It looks like they came as LA softbox, which in theory should be the same. Studio Professional. And let's get this out of the way. Let's take a closer look at the softbox material. Now I must say I'm pretty impressed with the material so far of this part of the softbox. Looks like it seems pretty heavy duty. It's pretty thick, kind of. It's plastic, but it feels a little bit like a harder kind of plastic. It looks like it's gonna last for a long time. Some Velcro here so you can reach out to the inside of the softbox, of course. Here's also some Velcro, so you can reach out to the other part of the softbox, probably to make some adjustments to your alien bees. And the inside, of course, made out of the silver reflective material. So your light should reflect pretty well on your subject. So yeah, the softbox itself looks pretty good. Let's take a closer look now at the speed ring. Nothing too fancy, it's just a standard speed ring. It's the regular kind, the one that doesn't bend, so it takes a little bit more time to assemble, but I had one of these ones before and it works just fine. It just takes a few more seconds to assemble. It's not really a deal breaker for me. Alright, let's take another closer look at the rods. This one should be steel rods, and they do feel like them. They do feel like metal. There's 4 of them, of course, for your softbox. Let's take this out. And looks like one of them has this ring, which I'm not really sure exactly what it is for, but I guess I'll find out when I install it. And the other side is all standard rods. Nothing fancy, a pretty standard design, a simple design. And as far as materials, first impressions, the material of the outer side of the softbox looks pretty good. Like I said, pretty hard plastic material. I wasn't very impressed with this, the inner diffusing material of the softbox. It feels a little flimsy, but I guess it's supposed to be, because it's supposed to be really it's supposed to let the light through, so it's supposed to be really thin. But everything else seems okay. The Velcro seems fine. Looks like it's gonna work just fine. And again, just to talk a little bit more about the clips, like I said before, a lot of people don't like them. I don't mind them. I have had some of these in the past, and actually I just remember the time where this part right here, this elastic band right here, broke in one of my other softbox in the past. Anyways, it's really hard to fix. You just have to saw it in or paste it in. It's not really a big deal if you're trying to save some money. This one's worked just fine. And but yeah, everything looks fine. I'm glad that it's a double diffused softbox, so the results should come in pretty good. But anyways, that's the unboxing. I'm gonna take a few minutes to assemble it, and I'll let you know how it goes. Alright, so I'm about halfway done with the installation. As you can see, I already installed the outer shell of the softbox, and I haven't finished installing it, obviously. You can see over there my Alien Bee B800, and this is a heavy-duty light stand. This doesn't come with the softbox, obviously. And as you can see here the flaps you can use to access the inside of the or the inner diffusers, and also perhaps the Alien Bee as well. You get the same flap right here. That's exactly the same. And oh, you also get like the Velcro openings right here, so you can access also the speed ring, or to make adjustments or anything like that. Now, as far as the installation, so far it was pretty easy actually. It took me about 10 minutes, I would say, to install the outer shell, which is supposed to be the most difficult part, really. That's what, according to the instructions. One thing to note is that for this type of softbox, you have to use the 4 points indicated in the instructions of for the speed ring. But it is not really difficult at all. It just takes a few tries, and there's one pole that came with, or this one right here, came with this thing right here. I don't even know how to call it, kind of like an inner ring. I have no idea what this is for. That's the only one that came in with this. If somebody can tell me this, I would appreciate it, but as far as I know, so far, it has no function or no use. I have no use for it. It's just there. I don't know if I got the wrong part or anything, but perhaps it has a different use. If you know it, let me know. So I'm gonna finish installing the inner diffusers, and I'll let you know how it goes. Okay, the inner diffuser is already installed. It just took me a few seconds. And remember what I said about the clips right here. As I said before, a lot of people are complaining about those. Now I see why they complain about them actually. I've used these ones in the past and they weren't that bad. These ones are a little bit more difficult to install, especially this one right here is a little bit, it takes a little bit of effort to open. The good thing is that you can always replace them. You can just go into the Home Depot and find something else. But anyways, it doesn't take that much time. I think it's just fine. If you're installing it on the spot, it might take you a few more seconds, but it's not really a big deal. It's just fine. Okay, so the outer diffuser also is already installed now. Again, it just took literally just a few seconds to put this up. Fairly easy installation. It's a Velcro, so you just stick it there and make sure that everything's stuck together all along the tall softbox. And pretty good fit. Everything seems to fit just fine. You should make sure that everything's covered so there's no spilling of the light. And yeah, it looks pretty good. Now I'm gonna go ahead and install the grid to see how it looks. Okay, now the grid is installed. Again, it just took just a few seconds. The same as with the diffusers, the same kind of process. You just stick the Velcro side on the edge of the outer shell, and the Velcro in the grid is just in this side. It doesn't cover the entire side of the grid. So yeah, pretty easy installation. That's how it looks. I will say that I did notice that in the middle right here, in the middle of the softbox, it does get a little bit wrinkled. Right here, it kind of everything gets shrunken in a little bit. I think it might be because everything is brand new, so it's been sitting in the box for a long time. So it's been sitting flat for a long time, and it may take a few hours to stretch out and fully expand. But it's not really a big deal. It looks like it won't affect the quality of the photos. Okay, so that's the finished and installed softbox, and yeah, that's how it looks. With the grid on, you can always take the grid off if you need to. There's the back. Inside you can see both of the diffusers. Flap. Again, you can see both diffusers over there. So yeah, as a final review, I'm very happy with the product, honestly. I think it's, first of all, the materials are pretty good. It looks like they're pretty flexible. You can use it in many different functions. You can always change any kind of features like the clips and other things, and it's pretty standard. I like the quality of the outer shell. It's gonna have a hard plastic, like I said before. Also, I like how it's very easy to install. It doesn't take that much time. It took me about 15 or 20 minutes to put the whole thing together. And yeah, it's a good size as well. It's like very tall. It's perfect really for portraits. I like the fact that it comes with grid. These grids can be expensive if you buy them separately. So you can create some really good pictures with the grid. So I like that feature. I like how it comes with this opening flap so you can reach inside. I also like the fact that you can reach into the alien bee right here. So yeah, really good product as far as the positives. Now the negatives, I'll show you right here. Now this is the speed ring right here, as you can see. And this is a standard speed ring that you can also use for a hexagonal softbox. Now the thing about this softbox is that it's so thin that it's really difficult to close this part of the softbox, of the shell of the softbox right there. It's a very tight fit, and even if you can make it, and you might say, why is that a big deal? Well, You have your light inside right there, and you really want to prevent as much spilling of the light as possible. And because of this part of the speed ring, it might allow some spillage of the light right here, and it might create some reflections in your, especially if you're working in a closed studio. But yeah, as far as a final review, I give it, I would just give it like 4.5 stars out of 5. Mainly because of that issue in the back. I think they could have added maybe like a little bit of a flap right here in order to cover that potential spillage. But not really a big deal. Still a quality product, and I really recommend it. Again, thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any questions about this product.